Our next pair of speakers, actually. So, going through the first one, he learned English at the age of 25 for a girl. He is from the south of France, so air conditioning is a nightmare for him. He traveled from France to learn Quebecois. Welcome to Canada. And he enjoys the second speaker. He enjoys backpacking and the challenge of being cheap. He did a 15-day journey, 5,000-kilometer trip through India on a $400 budget. He started his first business at the age of 7, trying to sell old toys to tourists. It was a failure, perhaps maybe his first one there, and he loves eating stinky cheeses. So without further ado, Marco and Anthony from Swissborg.
Hello everyone, I'm the first guy, I'm Anthony, this is Marco. First of all, thank you, all of you, to attend this event tonight and to come to listen our stories, and thanks to the Fucked Up team to invite us for the for the event tonight. Okay, so tonight we will share this journey that lead us from an idea to a startup that actually raised 50 million in less than one year. Yeah.
Okay. So the first picture you see here is not us after the ICO. This is actually 10 years ago. Anthony and I were both working in banking. We were living in London at the time, even though we didn't know each other. And we were having a good life. We were making good money because the financial industry likes to overpay its people. And we were happy for a while, but at some point we realized that it wasn't that fulfilling, that something was missing. And so after some reflection, we were like, individually ourselves, we want to become entrepreneurs. And so we left our jobs and started this searching career of being an entrepreneur.
Okay, so the D-Day has finally arrived, all right? So you become this entrepreneur. You've been thinking about the situation for months, and it has finally come. And expectations are high. Why they shouldn't be? Because you've been this successful guy working for a bank for many years, and the world is waiting for you, right? So it's going to be quick, it's going to be easy, and you're going to build something that people will love. But trust me, reality is different. At least my reality was different. I had to quit my beautiful house in the center of London. I have to break up with my beautiful girlfriend at that time. And I have to go back to my mom's place and crash into her living room for more than a year. And that's the reality. And anyway, I don't think that as an entrepreneur you can succeed if you stay in your comfort zone. So what seems to be the difference between the expectation and reality actually is a good thing. And the reality as an entrepreneur as well is to be successful, you need to hire a team. And you're not sexy as Apple when you start. Actually, not sexy at all. The other misconception as well is building a product takes time. And your assumption at the very beginning is you will go straight away from your idea to your product. And actually, it doesn't look like a straight line. It's more a looping process. So you need a lot of iteration to actually build a product that people will look at, not even love, but look at. And finding as well your product market fit takes time.
Okay, so I was a little bit luckier than Anthony in my case. I didn't need to move back in with my parents. I was lucky to have my wife who was able to pay the bills and a little bit of savings to survive until essentially there was this great moment where it's like a surfer, you're looking for the perfect wave, and then it appeared, and that was Swissborg. So to me, this was the perfect project, and also for the rest of the team, where it combined our acquired experience. So we could use the experience that we had built in finance and in other industries. At the same time, there was a clear market opportunity. In cryptos, there was a booming and growing market. And more importantly, the values of the founding team were all aligned. We all believed that with cryptos and blockchain, these values of transparency and fairness, we could build something that would align with our interests and be different than what made us leave the old financial industry in a way.
Okay, so now you're riding basically the perfect wave, and everyone on the beach is looking at you and say, wow, I want to be part of that journey, right? I want to be a surfer now. And they didn't want to be a surfer before, but now as they see you perfectly on these waves, they want to get involved. So the traction that you were looking for and was desperately looking for is there. But actually your situation didn't change. You don't have money, and the only thing that you can do to attract talent is actually expectation. So expectations are high when you are in the crypto market because it's very trendy, especially in 2017 where we start the journey. But the reality is to grow your company, and that will be at least 50%, that will be the impact of hiring the good team will be a key metric and will be a key factor to your success. So hiring the right people is still difficult. And let me give you one story, sharing our own experience to tell you how difficult it is. So we've been to many conferences, of course, in 2017 to learn about the industry, but to meet people as well. And at one of these conferences, we met this lawyer. And really liked the guy. So we decided at that time to have a dinner with that guy at the flat I was living to with the other co-founder. We were sharing a flat at that time. And so we had this dinner with this lawyer, and we loved the guy. The guy was amazing. He seems very legit, knowledgeable about the industry. So we decided to work with him. And the deal was very simple. Because the guy has a family and we can't support this guy financially, we say, so you keep your job, but all the free time will be allocated to us. So you will help us building the entire legal department of the company. And as you can imagine, when you're a startup, and especially when you're in the fintech sphere, structuring your legal department is critical to your success. So we start to work on this term basis. But few weeks after we had this dinner, it was very difficult to work with that guy. I can tell I was spending many hours on the phone with him, explaining what Bitcoin was about, the Ethereum was about, basically teaching him everything about the entire industry. But we didn't receive much work back from him. The few contracts we received actually was pretty crap. And I couldn't tell with my very poor legal background, but it was obvious that the work was done properly. So after 2 months, we decided that we had to stop working with this guy because it became very critical. So we organized a meeting with the guy, and we were pretty frank about the situation, saying, it's not working with you, it's not because you're a bad person, but we feel that maybe you're overwhelmed with your job and your life, and you can't commit the time that is necessary for us to advance. And we have a team behind us. So it's not only about you and about us, it's about as well making the entire team a success. And the guy was crying. So, these situations are very difficult because you're facing an individual that in a way, he's 40 years old and he's crying in front of you because you just break up his dream. Anyway, few days passed and we received an email from the guy. We opened the email, and in the email, the message was very clear. Hi guys, you will find enclosed my invoice for the 2 months that I've been working with you, and if you don't pay me, I'm going to sue you. So that's the reality. You have a lawyer now, and you're poor. Because it doesn't matter that the crypto market is going up. You don't have money because you're a startup. And now you have a lawyer is supposed to structure your legal department that this thing couldn't happen, and now is going to sue you. And that's not the end. Actually, when we open the email and open the bill, we can see that the time that I was spending with him on the phone explaining all about the industry was charged in the invoice. So it's to tell you how difficult it is to find the good people that will work with you, that you can trust, and you can count on. But that will make the key factor of your success.
Another challenge that you face as an entrepreneur is distractions. Okay, and there's no better place for distractions than 2017 crypto market. So back then, if you remember, on a quiet day, cryptos would move up or down 5%. On a busy day, up 20, 50, 100, who knows? Just, it was crazy days. At the same time, you have all this flurry of news, new companies, new ICOs, new launches, who raises 20 million, 50 million, whatever. You don't know what is real, what is not, but you're sort of addicted as well to following what is happening, you know, absorbing all this information. Now, the problem is all of this distracts you from your main objective, which is let's focus on our own project. So that was a very hard part that took us a bit of time to say, you know, we need to allocate time to the project and minimize the time that we spend on these distractions. While we need to still follow the industry, we can't dedicate a big portion of the day. So that was an important lesson during the crazy market.
Okay, back to reality. Back to reality, because no matter what you do, when you decide to do a company, it doesn't matter if it's in fintech, health tech, food tech, or even a bakery, there is key component that will make you succeed. And these components are very simple. It's hard work, dedication, and focus. Okay, let me stress that again for you. Hard work, dedication, and focus. Focus is very important because focus is about choosing an objective and making sure that your entire team is aligned with this objective. That will make your success. The journey, how you get to that destination, this objective, you don't know. You will uncover this objective, this journey every day. That's your job as a team. But the objective, the final objective, needs to be very clear. And I really want to stress that because I see so many startups doesn't have a very clear objective. And because you don't have a clear objective, you don't have an alignment. In our scenario, it was pretty obvious. It was the summer of 2017. We've been working on a white paper, other projects since a few months now, and we were started to collect some money from early investor. And the promise that we made to this investor was to have our ICO happening in October 2017. So the objective was very clear. And we were working very hard. I couldn't remember even a day that was taking off. We were working every day of the week and the weekend from 9 to midnight and even more sometimes toward this objective. And to tell you, we made this joke internally that if someone leaves the office by 6, we say, are you taking your afternoon off, man? That was a joke internally, but that's to tell you, there is no secret. I couldn't think that you can succeed as a startup not to commit this crazy amount of hours, because not only you need to learn about the industry, but you need to keep the ball rolling and make things move on. And if you can see a ping pong table here, is because that was the only distraction that we have in the co-working space where we're at because of this, ping pong table.
And then disaster struck. So we've been working for months. We were leading up to our ICO, which was expected to happen in October 2017. Delays happen, so we postponed it to November 2017. We delayed it by 1 month. We have about $10 million in commitments from investors, but commitments are not money on the bank, so you never know. We have, there's 48 hours to the launch of the ICO. We have started marketing and PR. Everything is ready. And 2 days to go, our ICO provider, so we had this secondary platform, which was an ICO platform that allows you to have all the registration of the participants and receive the payments, manage the KYC and everything. So 2 days to go, they decide to change the terms, revamp the whole UI, which makes it terrible and unusable. And we understand that at that point, if we go ahead, it's going to be a complete failure. So there's no time to find another provider, because we've looked at all the others and they were crap as well. So no other choice. And so we have this critical moment of what do? We have the commitment from investors, we've built the team, we're ready to go, but there's no solution, no way out of this.
Okay, so it's Friday night, and I'm sitting next to the other co-founder, Cyrus, and we face this very difficult situation where we know now that if we go with the actual provider, the ICO is going to be a massive failure. And not only we will disappoint the investor that trusts us since the beginning, but the team as well, that's been working for a month now without the salary and is backing, the entire project. And we will leave as well our dream behind, which is terrible as an entrepreneur, right? So, and there is 48 hours left before the beginning of the ICO. We've been postponing the ICO since already once for a month. It's difficult, right? It's very difficult, and this situation, I think, tests your ability to be an entrepreneur or not to be an entrepreneur. That's really in this moment where you figure out for yourself if you are ready to be an entrepreneur or not ready to be an entrepreneur. So what should we do, right? That's the question that we keep asking ourselves. And we say, okay, fuck it, it seems impossible, but let's build the platform. We don't have any other choice, no other options, because we will fail our ICO, and we will lose the entire team, we'll lose the investor, we'll lose everything. And more importantly, the dream that we have will never gonna happen. So we decide okay, let's do this, let's try to find a solution. Cyrus didn't knew some tech developer from before, so he helps as well to be into the entrepreneur journey since a long time. So we called the guy, right? The guy was based in Poland, and we start to talk about the project, right? And this is part as well of being an entrepreneur, is being able to pitch people and to expose your challenges and your dream. Because I can tell you there is no rational reason why a tech company will decide to go with you in that adventure. Because building an ICO platform in 15 days, it's impossible. And there is no good reason why a tech company will choose overnight to go in that direction, put his reputation at stake just because you ask them. So you need really to speak openly with people and get them on board with yourself, with your dream, with your reality, with your objective and your mission. And this is as well a good test for you to find out if what the journey you are in is something that you speak to people. Because once again, there is no reason why a company, a legit company, will follow you in that direction, which is crazy. And people are risk averse, right? We like to stay in our comfort zone. Anyway, so we spent 2 hours on the call with this guy, and I guess we had a very, very honest discussion, very open discussion about the situation. And they say, okay, we are on board. I think we can build the team over the weekend and start on Monday. And basically, yeah, this whole thing happened. So myself and Marco, we spent the entire weekend designing specification. They assemble a team over the weekend, and we start to build the platform on Monday.
So yeah, and about 15 days later, we were able to launch the ICO, and everything then, well, mostly everything with a few hiccups on the way, worked out very well. I think there's, lots of lessons that we've learned from this, but 2 that we would highlight is the platform wasn't perfect. We had to take lots of shortcuts, cut a lot of stuff that we intended to put in, but it did work on time. And that was critical, because otherwise we probably would have failed. There were 30 or so odd startups in Switzerland at the time that were also launching their ICO, and they were delaying their ICO for different reasons, some similar, some other reasons. And in the end, most of them didn't make it because they waited too long. The market opportunity obviously then changed, and so if you weren't fast enough, you were left out. And the other thing is, if we hadn't been faced with this challenge, so this situation, we didn't think of building an ICO platform before because we thought, you know, this is going to be time consuming, it's not our core thing, and we don't know anything about building ICO platforms, so what are we doing? But faced with the challenge is that point where you're like, okay, well, this is the only way, we're going to do it. So these challenges are really valuable in seeing opportunities that you wouldn't have seen before. And that was very crucial for us because having our own ICO platform where we could build it in the way that we really wanted was crucial for the success of the ICO. So that was an important part of it.
Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Marco and Anthony there. So I think we have time for one question here. I'll give it to you, my good man here.
Hi. Are you guys based in Canada? Like, are you registered in Canada? It's my first question. I have like a few follow-up questions.
So the HQ is in Switzerland, but yes, we are registered in Canada as well because we have a team of 4 people here that are here tonight. Yes.
Have you guys talked to OSC at all, Ontario Security Commission? Because you guys, I feel like you guys are selling. No. My question.
So I guess the first question is, I don't know, but what we are selling, right? Is Bitcoin a security in Canada?
No, but facilitating to raise money is kind of like, raising money is kind of like security. So like, how did you get away from the legal situations? Pretty impressive.
That's a good question. So first of all, the ICO took place in Switzerland, right?
Okay.
So we had a consultation with all the regulation within Switzerland. And then it's all about how you market your product, right? And there were a few countries where we didn't promote the ICO. US obviously were not allowed at all to participate to the ICO. In Japan, we didn't make any promotion, and in Canada neither, right? Because you can use the concept of reverse solicitation as long as you don't promote your ICO within one country.
Okay, I'm not going to ask my next question. So.
Great. Thanks again. In the interest of time, we're going to keep things moving along here. I invite you guys to ask more questions later on after the events. But thanks again. Let's give it up for Marco and Anthony.